Thank you for joining us this beautiful morning on today's live. And we always do this together. So it's better for you to just sit, relax, and then connect with us on our Facebook and then YouTube handle so that we'll hear your own contribution from what we are going to be discussing today. This is today's live on Equa Television International. And I promise you today is going to be educative and is going to be uh, informative. So just follow us. In the studio, I have Joyce Jakada, I have Prudence, Burga, and together we'll be doing this. And the topic today is interesting, looking at what is happening globally and what is happening in Nigeria that we can easily relate. We're discussing the topic life struggle.
Sometimes I just ask myself, can we just have some level of serenity, tranquility? Can we not just hear? Can't we just have some silence? Like everywhere, when you go on social media, when you go out, be it in the church, be it in the community, at meetings, like it is always one issue or the other. Just when you're saying, oh, this is just what I want to deal with. And after that, I have myself. And then once you're done with that challenge, another one surfaces. Even if it is not you directly, it has a way of affecting someone close to you that at the end of the day, you too will be affected. And so it's like life is just about struggles. From one struggle to the other, one struggle to the other. And you just ask yourself, like, what's the meaning of life? Like the old man asked, what's actually the meaning of life? And it was like, oh, is it about going to school and getting a certificate? You get it, and just when you're thinking, once you get certificate, that you have unlocked the key to success, you just blow. In our own words, you just blow. Go to school, finish, you just blow. You become that doctor, you become that lawyer, you become that architect. You finish, an architect is going with the brown envelope up and down, one interview to the other, nothing. And you're asking yourself, so what was the essence of going to the school? And you're doing business or you're working as a sales rep, you're thinking that once my oga settles me, that's all, I'll be the boss of myself. And he settles you, and you are thinking of this bill, that bill, settling this, like that, shipping more equipment and all of that. Another challenge. You're now thinking, okay, maybe when I get married, and you get married, and behold, your partner is saying, I need this, I need that. Or your children, the children's faces, and you need to pay bills. You're like, so it's like from one phase to the other. And what exactly is the meaning of life? On today's life, we've often been saying, it's important that people just find purpose, know your identity, know what you're standing for, and then know where you are headed. That way, it's going to guide you. So certain people think that when things happen to them, the world is just against them. So someone is having a swell time. Prudence is enjoying her life. Look at her wearing a fine hair, this and that. And look at me, I have to struggle for what to eat. And this lady, they're even telling her to eat this. And she's saying, no, I don't eat this. I wish I'm in her shoe. Like people can just stay from afar and say, I wish I'm in this person's shoe. So life is just different phases of, as far as you live, like the struggle for jobs, struggle for a life partner, struggle for employment, struggle for
Survival.
Get education, survival. You're dealing with your government, you're dealing with your family, traditional leaders, you're dealing with, you just get home and you're thinking there should be power supply, and you're wondering that these people normal. It's 7 p.m. and you just want us to stay in the dark. So a lot of things. Just recently we heard of how an institution where students were protesting lack of water, lack of light, and it was settled. The following week again, another set of students were also protesting that they did not get accreditation. One struggle to the other. Is that actually the meaning of life? A lot of questions actually to ask. Some people think that the world is against them or it's just about them. But for me, I don't think it is like that. As far as you live, you will face all of those challenges. Those struggles continue. And Luther continue, like students to say. Because see, even the Bible tells us that in this life there will be tribulation. So it's like we don't know. That is why. And you see, that's why the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So, but if you have that awareness that this life that is we are even in battle, because the devil rose like a lion looking for who to devour. It means he doesn't have time to rest. He's up and about. Just when you say, oh, I've paid light bills, he'll bring another one for you. Just when you say, I just need to get this, he'll bring another one for you. So we are in war. So you need to understand that all of these struggles that you are faced with, they are part of life. And interestingly, for some people, some of these battles like bring out the best in you, or is leading you to your success. We've had a lot of stories about that. So life is just about that.
It's crazy.
Interesting.
Because life for me is an irony. It's just really interesting. Life struggles are just there so that when you find solace or you find peace at certain point in time, you're able to bask in it, enjoy it, and love it. See, the thing is, if you have not faced a certain kind of struggle, when you win a victory, you will not feel the effect of it. It's only if you have passed through that struggle and you come out victorious that you're just like, this is so great, this is so awesome. But if you had not gone through that process, you'll not see how beautiful the end is, the end result is. So I think the whole thing, the back and forth about struggles in life and not and whatnot, it's all balance. It's Solomon that always says that life is all about balance. You always say that. Life is all about balance. And that's what, for me, that's what life struggles do too. It's like creating that balance. So you taste the sweet and the sour. You have a taste of the bitter and the not so sweet. You have a taste of everything. Yeah, it makes when people say variety is the spice of life, I know people always tend to think that you want to taste these, that. But then again, variety is the spice of life. What could literally mean that you struggle, you enjoy. You suffer a little bit, you find victories and all that. So it's, if the world was devoid of struggles, we wouldn't enjoy the life that we're living. If everything was on a platter of gold for you, or you just snap your fingers and everything is just there, life would not be interesting. It's like this: when you're writing a novel, or when you're reading a book, or you're watching a movie, you have to have that conflict. If conflict is not missing from your novel, people are like, why did I waste my time reading this book? Or if there's no conflict in your movie, you're like, or your play, you're like, did I just waste my time to watch this thing? No, you want to see the conflict, how this person comes up to overcome it, and you're glad and jubilating together with the person.
That's
who
the
is a
lesson
fiction.
for the people watching.
Yes, exactly. So at the end of the day, what makes life even sweeter is the struggles that we pass through. So life struggles is just, it's just something that just has to be.
Prudence, have you had people that give testimony of how they started, and then like looking at where they are, and when they give their story, and you're like, wow. At the point you're saying wow, you're looking at how they survived it, how they navigate their ways through. So amidst the struggle, you're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be like you make up your mind that this struggle will not weigh me down. It will not pull me down. It will not break me. I remain resilient. I'm going to get to the finish line, like Paul would say. So, but a lot of times in today's life, when we are faced with challenges or struggles, when they come our way and we're like, I can't take this anymore, and I need to just throw the towel. Some people just commit suicide. You find people resigning from their jobs. You find people quitting the relationships. You find couple divorcing and all of that. Somebody made a post of how their 20-year marriage ended, and people were commenting like, if you are able to stay for 20 years, so what exactly is it that you cannot like and all of that? So everybody has a take in that. But you see, some of the people we look at today and we get motivated by, they understood that those challenges were part of life. And we always talk about the process. This process we always talk about is the struggles, this process we talk about is the challenges. Before you get to the finish line, there's the price you need to pay. And part of the price that you're paying is the struggle that you are faced with. There are stories of people that will tell, oh, I wrote this exam 9 times, 10 times. A lady shared her story how that a program of 6 years, she spent 10 years. There are people that even spend more than that, but they did not decide, okay, I'm going to withdraw from this school since I cannot graduate with my friend. But I remain resilient because this is what I want. This is who I want to become. And they keep moving. You can be working in a place and as personal principle, you say, I will not do this, I will not do that. And people try to frustrate you because you're standing for the truth. And because you know, yes, you will be hated. Tribulations will come your way and you say, I'm not deterred like by this. I keep moving. It's just a phase. It will pass. So these struggles are just part of life. So don't think that, okay, it's just me that is happening to me. There are times that you need to cry. You cry, shed the tears, and then clean just wipe the tears and move on. But don't allow these struggles to just break you. I know that we are different. We are wired differently. There are people that people tell you this person is strong-hearted, or they will tell you this one is hard-hardened, or they will tell you this person nothing shakes him or her. But that's the spirit that we should all imbibe. Because we know that we are not unaware of these tribulations or trials or the challenges. They will definitely come. The world does not revolve around you that you should even set policies or principles of how the world should move. It doesn't revolve around me. I'm also subjected to the setting that I'm in. See, there are presidents, there are governors, these people are policy makers. At the end of the day, they make certain policies that might not be favorable to you. Because even if it is favorable to you, it means that Sambo Solomon is not okay with it. So, but you have to live with that. Currently, there's inflation. At some point, we're talking about how the Naira was depreciating. A lot of things were going on. But even when the Naira started appreciating, there's still inflation. So, it's still part of the struggle. Struggle for what to eat, struggle for where to stay, struggle to meet ends needs and all. But we keep moving regardless of what. These things makes us strong. And that is why when you get to the finish line and you look at people that are coming through that way, you talk to them and say, see, because you've passed through this, your story can be a turning point for another person. So it's really important that we understand that these things are part of life. And when they happen to us, we shouldn't let it break us. Yeah, if you need to tell, please go ahead, cry, wipe your tears, and then keep moving. More importantly is to stand for something.
Yes.
What are you standing for? Do you know the purpose of why you are existing? Because if I know my purpose, for example, and I'm faced with a challenge, I work in Equa Television, and this is what God expects me to do in this place. And then somebody decided I'll be your own struggle, or I'll constitute a challenge to you. Now, should I allow that person determine the decision that I'm going to take next, or am I going to hold on to my purpose and the reason why God brought me to that place? So you see, most times we allow emotion to play in, and we're like, see, I'm leaving this place. I can't continue this work. After all, because this person is your superior, and then you don't have controls over certain decisions that will be made. And like, I can't continue this job. Let me know what is it. When there are a lot of job, people are even calling me to come and do this and that, and you just quit. Now you're neglecting your belief, you're neglecting your purpose, you're neglecting what you stand for. So you need to understand that some of these things are schemes of the devil, and some you just have to happen. It is what is called the process, and you cannot dodge the process. Process is not just you saying I want to be doctor and you just sleep and close, open your eyes and see that you're a doctor. Everybody say Dr. Sambo, so you must reach.
Say present.
you know what is interesting is that everybody wants a rosy life. Everybody wants a beautiful life. You just want to, the slang that goes on, I just want to relax and be taken care of.
Baby girl.
It's funny how we all anticipate things like this. We all picture and envision things like this, but we don't want to go through the pattern. We don't want to go through that storm that we need to go through it to get to that point that we're looking for. It's easy when you first see raw gold being extracted from the ground. It is really nothing to write home about. You don't even, it's not appreciated. Then it is refined through fire, and you find gold that everybody is going haywire for. It had to go through that process of refining, panel beating. You know how a car goes through an accident and then when it comes back and they've painted it, they've done the whole body work on it, and it just looks so beautiful. That's how life is. Sometimes you need to go through the panel beating. You need to go through that, be hit back and forth, so that when you come out, you're looking better than before. You're looking, you're just better, way better than you were before. Life struggles makes the better of you. It gives you a better perception and perspective on who you are in essence. Some agreed earlier when she mentioned that sometimes people don't have that, can't bear it anymore, and they just decide to give up, throw in the towel. A lot of people have gone to the extent of just killing themselves and things like that. But for those who were able to come out victorious, like those that were able to go through this part, and at the end of the day, it's behind them. You find this person has a different approach to life now. This person has a different idea of how things work. This person has a better way to approach things because he has gone through it before. He has observed, he has basked in the suffering, and come out glowing and shining. It's like you just took a sun bath and you're looking glowing. You're all, for us, we're always glowing.
It's either everybody wants to look at you, or they want to have a feel of you and all of that. You see, nobody wants to associate with mediocrity or failure.
True.
Everybody wants to associate with success. And that is why even when you don't know the person, you say, we're from the same village. You just read the person's biography and you are so excited because it's from the same village with you. Why are you not happy with that criminal that was just sentenced to prison, that is also from your place? You're not even interested. When people are called out for church discipline, everybody's bending his head. But when people are coming out for Thanksgiving, or they are coming out to appreciate God, everybody, they call out supporters, and you see everybody will come out. So that's how life is. When you go through this process and you come out victorious, like when you win, everybody wants to associate with you. But nobody wants to know
the struggle
you went
through.
So, but without this story, there won't be glory. So let's look at some of the struggles we go through are self-inflicted. We should learn to also differentiate that. Some of the struggles we go through are self-inflicted.
Yes.
You know that this path that you're touring, people have told you that, see, this thing is not good. And if you continue on this path, this is the result. But you say, it is my time. This is not you are old school, or you are this. They are telling you smoking is wrong. I will smoke. Stop doing this. I will do it. You will tell them, you too, you want to go through it and see the result. At the end of the day, you are having one
lungs problem
and all of that, and you're struggling, and you're help me. I saw a young boy that police came and picked him in a van because I think they say he sells weed, and he also tried fighting with somebody with knife and all of that. So they came and picked him. So when they were going with him, he jumped out from the van and he fell down. I think he had injuries. Immediately the police jumped, and then they round him, they covered him. So they're trying to carry him back. Then he was shouting that, please help me. He was begging people around that they should help him, that he doesn't want to go there. If you go there, that they will kill him. So, you know what it means to kill when you are carrying knife and threatening another person. You don't know what you are going to go through at the cell, where you decide to go against what the law says. You understand?
Yeah.
But you decided, even after people talk to you, not to do this, but you chose to do it because you think nobody has the right. It is your life. These are the statements that people make. It's my life. Nobody should disturb me and all. At the end of the day, you struggle one thing or the other, and you're saying, God, why am I going through this? You inflicted that against yourself. You go into prostitution as a young lady. What do you expect at the end of the day? You have an STI and you're saying, God, why did you allow? Who did I offend? Who did I offend? But what you were doing is not a good thing. And then people spoke to you morally, it's wrong. Or you go and decide to steal money that belongs to your organization. At the end of the day, you're caught, and then you are being maybe either yes, you are now relieved of your job and you are saying, God have mercy on me. Why do I have to go through this? Because you are now jobless, there's no food, you can't meet up your needs or even that cater for the needs of your family. And then you are saying, God, why? Why did you have to do that? So sometimes we inflict the pain that we go through, the struggles that we are in, are things that we decided to do. When people were making the right decisions, when advice was given to you, you decided, no, I will not. I want to live my life. I want to enjoy baby girl's lifestyle. I don't want anything that will. You are whatever you sow today, you will reap it tomorrow. You can't sleep and say that I'll wake up and become this. You cannot be doing nothing and say I'll become a billionaire tomorrow. No, it doesn't work like that. There are certain principles that guide all of this. So you must sow if you want to reap. So
well, it's possible not doing something and you are a billionaire.
Okay. How is that possible?
Yes, because you will be spending a lot of money in your dream. Like buying, like, it's
imagination. Why there's
illusion. Oh my goodness.
Nobody wants to wake up from that dream.
It's sweet, to see you driving that big car, flying first class and the rest, and then spending money dashing people, in your dream.
I celebrate
You see,
I can't believe this.
You see, the point which you made earlier by saying you have to understand who you are and your purpose. Yes, because when you understand your purpose, I feel it's easy for you to navigate life. Ideally, based on God's plan, it's for us to have a swell time. Like you said, life is not made in such a way that we'll have a swell time. But that was the original plan of God until that distortion came. And then the earth was cursed. And because of that, we have to go through that struggle. And because it is a must, it becomes a choice this time around. And that is why you can decide to walk and earn your respect, as the Bible says. Or you can decide to be lazy and be complaining that life is not fair. That is the reason why up to today, you will hear people are still blaming Adam and Eve. Like, because of what they are going through, you will hear them blaming Adam and Eve. While there are people that they still run to them and ask them for help. And then you ask yourself,
where are they from?
Where are they from?
Which world
are they from a different universe? Or, how do they...
Or they'll tell you that, God, why did I come out in this country? In my next life, please, I beg you, I don't want to be like from this country. But in this same country, there are people that are making it real good. Like the area where they are struggling. There are people that are having a swell time. There are people from other places that are also wishing to be where you are.
The thing is, we all, or rather, people who talk like that, already have a picture in mind of how they expect life to look like. You already expect that good life would be that you're riding in fancy cars. Good life would mean that you're eating fancy food, which could be detrimental to your health. That's another thing. Or a good life could just be relaxing at home and really doing nothing. But you know that is delusion, because it's not possible. Good life is actually knowing that you have worked hard for yourself and enjoying the fruits of your labor.
That's what good life
really means. So when you're talking about life struggles, what exactly are you describing as life struggles? You know how everybody, or rather majority of people, just don't want to agree that this is the consequences of my action. This is what I inflicted on myself because I did not do what I'm supposed to do. For instance, you saying you're living in the same community with someone and this person is flourishing and you're not. What are you not doing?
They will say it's juju. That the person or is Yahoo.
It's just crazy that some of us fold our arms and sit back and just decide to be bitter about people who have put their hands to work and they are getting something for themselves.
How we cook up stories to support our laziness.
Exactly. And you just oh my God, you just keep on cooking stories to defend your laziness. Everybody always brings about the story of Adam and Eve. Everybody talks about it. Oh no, if Adam and Eve had not done this, they had not done that, they would have been living cozy in the garden, would have just gone pluck fruits and eat and things like that. But people, no, that was not God's design. He just knew that it was gonna be easy. It was not going to have been this hard for you to get what you needed to get. But there was always that work, that phase of work. There was always that. In fact, I like to say that God created work way before He created man. He created that means that would protect man. That means that would supply for man before He created the man and kept him in it. This is the simple reason why. When He created man and He dropped him, He said, maintain this place, dominate it. And what it means is that you do whatever is possible for these things to flourish and prosper and make it larger than it was before. Grow it. Basically, that's what it was saying. And for you to grow certain things, sometimes you have to remove certain things and put in other things. If you have to remove and put other things, this is the circle of life, the food chain. This one has to die for this to come up and grow. This one has to be there for this to be the way it is. The fruit has to be plucked so that it would grow again. Things like that.
Yes.
Some of them have to fall down and die and rotten so that they would create manure for the other one to grow. So basically, all these things, this chain of command has already been there. This chain has already been there. The only thing that was caused was that the earth will be hard, so you have to toil. It did not change the pattern of things. The pattern of things were already there. It just made it a little bit harder for you. So when we always complain about life struggles, it's because we cannot even appreciate that we are able to do certain things for ourselves, and at the end of the day would enjoy the fruit of our labor.
But then there are people that genuinely, because we're just talking about some of the self-inflicted struggles that people go through, but there are people that genuinely put in the effort. They do their part, and yet no result. You keep struggling. Like you hear people lament, I'm not a lazy person. I've put in effort. Like I've seen people that decided to just sleep all day, but every morning I wake up, but still life struggles, like it's not even coming to an end. And that's why earlier on I made reference to the scripture where it says there will be tribulations, there will be trials. Like look at the story of Jesus. He didn't have a swell time all through. Imagine going to the cross for something you did not do. Like you did not do. Somebody enjoyed the scene, like someone else sinned, but you are paying the price. And in our life today, like in today's life, you still find out there are people that go through certain challenges because of what they did not even do. There are people that have been accused. There are people that are faced with different, like they are being hated because they stood for the truth. And all these constitute challenges. All these are struggles for them. And you're asking, like, why do I have to? Because yesterday we talked about integrity. There are a lot of people that are standing like with integrity, like they are hated. People don't like people that have integrity because everywhere is just filled with compromise. People are just compromising, and when you get to a place, people want to compromise as well. They quote even scripture to suit that kind of lifestyle. When you are in Rome, behave like Rome. That's what they tell you. So
to justify their life of compromise.
To justify, like a young man was being challenged of how that he was living a wayward life and then sleeping around with people's children. And what he said was that even the Bible says, go into the world and multiply.
Wow.
Like the gods. Some people, but God. It's just important that people know that life is filled with struggles, and you have to develop that capacity, that strength within you, that resilience to be able to face that challenge. Some of these challenges that you face God is preparing for something bigger.
True.
And there's a lesson that he wants you to learn out of it. There is something he wants others to learn from your story. Imagine you waking up every day like selling something and to sell something, and then at the end of the day you barely sell nothing, and you're like just thinking about the whole situation. Tomorrow you come out, you don't sell. Next tomorrow you don't sell. Like, you will not stop selling. You will not stop coming out because nobody patronized you. Because the next time you come out, somebody can just come and say, I want everything. That can even be, somebody can just say, I want us to do business. Why not keep supplying for my organization? And that's just your breakthrough. So we have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing, even amidst the struggles, amidst the challenges that we are faced with. Like I've always said here, life does not even care about you. So don't think life will consider you. Life does not care. When you fall down today and just give up, or when you decide to commit suicide, life continues. Like you die today, you are replaced today. Life will continue. So while you live, do your part and make sure you stand for something. And when you start, just make sure you stand for the truth. What would you be remembered for if you are no more? There are people that are no more today, but when their names are mentioned, like, people applaud them. But there are people are praying that something just happened to them, that they are no more. So sometimes you ask yourself, what will posterity remember me for? I know that I'm faced with certain struggles, certain challenges, but what is my role? What am I here for? If you are guided, that's why I said you should stand for something. If you are guided by your purpose and your belief, what you stand for, then you uphold it regardless of the challenges that you're faced with. And sooner or later, you see yourself headed towards victory. Celebrating. People celebrate you, and then you are like, wow. So all these struggles, this is where I am today. And somebody is hearing you, sharing your story or your testimony, and is learning from it. It's saying, so it means there's something can actually also come out from me while I'm thinking of giving up. There are people that shared their story. Recently, I was in an event, and then a young lady came out to talk, and when she shared her like the process that she went through to become, I said, wow. Just when I'm thinking that, I have, do you understand? Like, and it was a challenge for me to do more. I picked that as a challenge to do more. Like, there is more.
You see, I look at life struggle generally in phases. You know, it comes from, your background, where you're coming from, the family you're coming from, the community you're coming from, and then even your choosing career. Because looking at it generally, yes, we know there's the one that, the world gives out generally that affects everyone. But there are ones that, it's based on what you have chosen that you want to do. Like, if you talk about the media, yesterday we cited an example. The media industry has their own struggle, right? Like, the farmer has his own struggle. You farm, and then 2 months there is no rain, and then you start wondering, or the crops are there, but there's no fertilizer. But what will you say, when you face, or what will you do when you are faced with all those kind of challenges of life, that test your ability, your capacity, and your even integrity, in most cases. So if you look at it, you just have to sit down and tell yourself, why am I living? You ask yourself, and then be truthful to yourself, understanding the reason why you are living. Then it is easier for you to navigate life, because you know the reason why you are living. That means you are telling yourself you can't fail, or you can't allow those challenges, those struggles of life weigh you down and deter you from reaching your goals. Like you said, once you are targeting a price, there's a process. If you are an athlete, at the end of the day, there's a gold, there's a silver, there's a bronze. And once you are going for it, and then there's a pace that you will run to get gold.
Do you know the
That-
number, the
yeah.
hours they put into
Into
practice?
for
I
that.
had a story
That's-
of Kobe,
Yeah.
how that he practiced for years
Mm.
just to play for how many seconds
Mm.
before he won that prize. But
Mm.
look at the years of struggle.
Mm.
Look at the years of practice. Sometimes we celebrate these winners or these successful people. We have no idea the struggles they went through.
Mm.
This guy wakes up as early as 4 a.m.
Mm.
because his meeting with his coach is 6 a.m.
Mm.
But he wakes up to do certain things himself before the time
Meeting the coach.
with the coach.
Mm.
And even it's the same thing with some students. They have
Mm.
their course outline. They don't sleep. They go through it. They share their sleeping period. They read before they get to class.
Mm.
If you want to actually succeed, there's a price you have to pay.
Mm.
And some of this price you're paying comes in with the struggles.
Mm.
So, like, there's no shortcut. Even when you try to, like, you decide to follow the shortcut, like we see today, we keep mentioning, oh, Yahoo boys, Yahoo this.
There's
because-
still a price.
There's a price. They pay. There's a price, and eventually there's another price that you have to pay again.
The
So
bigger price.
Somebody
Losing
decided that,
your
losing your soul. Somebody decided that, oh, I'm going to be rich. But he was told that, okay, if you don't want to go through the process, if you don't want to work your way to becoming rich and successful in this your career, we can make you famous in 2 years.
Mm.
You become very famous. Your music will be everywhere, but we're just giving you 2 years. After that, we're taking your life.
Mm.
And he accepted. The first song he sang, it was everywhere.
Mm.
After that, like, when the time was already elapsing, he sang another song, If I Die, Don't Cry For Me, because he already knew what he has signed. And so you see, whatever path you choose, even the shortcut you are choosing, that's what somebody said. See, to even become that thief is not easy. It needs a lot of calculation. Have you ever seen somebody that is trying to cheat in an examination where there are about 10 supervisors? You don't have anything on your head, not only that paper that you have to copy from, and you have about 10 supervisors in the hall. It will take you a lot for you to be able to copy. You will chew your biro, you will turn left, right, and center, you will turn behind, because you are in between. If I don't cheat, I'll fail this exam. If I cheat, I'm being caught, I'll either be expelled or I'm going to, like, a lot of things. So, but why would you not tell yourself that I'm going to do the right thing? Like, I'm going to pay this price. As far as what I'm standing for is the truth and is the right thing. Why not? And I like the fact that you brought about how that these struggles are in different phases.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we just think that it's only me that is going through it. It's only in my profession that there are challenges. Oh, it's only when I decide to be a politician that I have to sacrifice somebody to become something. Oh, I have to steal before I can. I have to dance to the tune of He Who Pays the Piper. I have to have a godfather. I know. The person who is in another field is also struggling. And same way with our individual lives. While I'm looking at Mr. Sambo Suleiman, oh, he's having a swell time. Every day he wears new shirts. I don't know the thing that you're struggling with personally. So while you're looking, another person is looking at me like, oh, you don't have a problem. The person does not know my own struggle.
Exactly.
A woman was complaining how that she needs to pay the school fees of her daughter 50,000, and the person she was complaining to, like, if she could get, and then the woman told her that I have my own daughter who just got masters, and I'm expected to pay 450,000. Struggles in different phases. The problem looks alike, but what they are looking for, your own is just 50,000. My own is 450. I can afford 50, but I need 450. So while you're crying of a challenge of 1,000 naira, the person that you're thinking has overcome the challenge of 1,000 naira, he's struggling for 1,000,000 naira. So let's just understand our purpose. I think that's just the guiding principle. And when you understand your purpose and know that these challenges or these struggles are a part of life, you find a way of just being strong, becoming resilient, and then keep pushing till you
Talking
get to
about
the finish
being
line.
strong, Joyce, it brings out the best in us. Because, like for me, I would say, if not for certain struggles of life, I wouldn't have been here.
You won't even
And then,
appreciate where you are.
Yes, and the reason why I am saying this is because I'm appreciating where I am, and I won't say I'm satisfied where I am right now. I want to see myself in a place whereby I will say, yes, at least I have moved from this particular position. But like you said, somebody is looking for 50,000, somebody is looking for 450.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, what I'm thinking, to get there, there's a struggle again from this position to that level. And that's not what someone is looking at right now as we speak. And it is important for us to know that our life as individuals, we are just like written letters from God. Written letters from God in the sense that when I look at Joyce and I listen to her story, I don't need to talk. And that's why the Hausaman will say, Gani Gawani, ya isa wani tsoron Allah. Like when you look at someone's life and you see the way the person, it's living and how God is bringing, is using the person, it's enough for you to sit down and say, this God is wonderful. Like if you share your story and you will say, if God can use Joyce, if God can bring Joyce out of the struggle, if God can do this to Joyce, can do this, can do that, then it is enough for me to know that alone is a stepping stone for me from where I'm standing. And if today I am wicked, and like you mentioned, the self-inflicted struggles that we normally bring, like for instance, I've been given 1 million to do business, and I'm moving around eating shawarma. And at the end of the day, then the poverty is now biting so hard because already there, apart from the consequences of the poverty for me being lazy before, and then someone giving me 1 million to do business, me squandering it because I don't know where it came from. I just felt another person can still give you money. There's another consequence attached to it. So by the time the poverty would hit in double. And then you are crying and you expect people to help you. So by that, if someone sees me struggling and he knows the story of how someone want to help me, and this time around, because it's self-inflicted, I am going through this hardship, is enough for him to dodge that route, so that he will avoid such kind of pain in his life. So it is important for us. Why am I saying this? To check out for people that are doing well in life, and we follow them, either publicly or secretly. There are some people that are following some of us that we don't even know, and we will not be privileged to even know some of them till we die. There are some that probably by the virtue of discussion, somebody will say, all this while, Joyce, you have been my pillar, you have been my this and that. And then you'll be like, wow, you mean that? And the person is like, yes, because I followed this and I watch you do this. This is how I overcame this and I overcome that. So you see, it is very important for us to keep the cycle of good people, because it will help us. Because I notice one thing that bring discouragement in life, and you feel people feel, after all, what is life? I have tried my best. You hear people saying that, I beg, let it slide. Or you hear somebody, do you have a sniper there? Give me, I have cockroach. While he's thinking of terminating his life. Some will just look at the lagoon and then they just dive into it.
Yeah,
you ask them, just of a recent, that banker, at working place, a banker, will just dash into the bathroom and then take sniper and die in her office while somebody is looking for that job and she's saying she is struggling. So you look at life. So imagine somebody that has been looking up, to that particular person, and then he's saying, I want to be like this person, I want to be that. So he will tell you that after what is life, you will reach this stage and then you just decide to take your life. So we must keep a good cycle and people that we will look up to, so that they will help us and guide. Because the truth of the whole matter, there are times that this life will give you like back to back. When you talk about blow, uppercut, name them, like you will just start asking yourself, like, why am I living? And you see, there's this another struggle, another phase of it, that if you are a Christian, you are a believer. It's a
You
different
already
thing
have that.
entirely.
Entirely. You know something that we always fail to understand is that when you keep looking only solely at your problems, you literally don't have vision for other things that are going on.
Mm.
And why I'm saying this is because sometimes we dwell on the struggles that we are facing, that we don't even want to let the struggle go.
Mm. That we don't even notice the little achievement
Yes.
that we are
and
making.
I'm deliberate about saying we don't even want to let the struggle go, because it's like, if you leave this struggle now, if you let the struggle go, the help that you are receiving, you will not get it again.
Mm.
So you hold on to it. And people say, how are you feeling these days? Probably you're just ill. How are you feeling these days? And you know, the psyche is really very interesting, that if you keep thinking on something, it makes you continuously believe that you still have that
thing.
Yes.
Mm.
So for instance, you're already healed of this illness, but because you don't even want to let go of the illness in itself, you continuously dream that you're sick. And you believe that you're sick. And then it begins to
Because you are
suffice.
attracting
Yeah,
pity
because
and sympathy.
pity and sympathy. So I'm using this illustration is, during the COVID-19 period, a number of people came down with the COVID, and people were crazy. The whole world was crazy. And a friend of mine was just telling us recently of how she had a journey from one side of the country to the other, and when she arrived home, she had the symptoms of COVID-19. Everything was just playing out. And in her head, she totally freaked out that she had COVID. But she went through the test and there was nothing. But she still kept on thinking that she had COVID, just because she sat down close to someone who was coughing consistently all through, and she had no face mask on. So she freaked out. And because of that, it just became a struggle, a personal life struggle for her. It was up until the time she had to let go of this that she found peace. So it happens to even struggles, not just health issues, but like even struggles where you keep trying to get something, but because you feel incapacitated for one reason or another, you just keep holding to the fact that you are incapacitated and you cannot do this thing. So at the end of the day, you are still in the struggle and you're not moving.
I have a disclaimer for people out there, especially people like that. It is not only you that is going through that situation, because most times people think I'm just alone. Everybody has a phase, like has his own share of struggle. So don't think that you're just alone. If Jesus Christ can go through that struggle, that he even had to tell the Father that if it is your will, like he wished that the cup be taken away from him. So it might be sickness
Really
that
a
you're
struggle.
struggling with. We are seated here, we all had our faces and the things that we're still struggling with. And then if you don't open up and say, this is what I'm going through, like I would not even know. So why would you sit there and say, all my family members, nobody care about me? Or you are sitting there and saying, this person does not even care, this person has money, has this, and
You
does
don't
not
want to
care.
help.
Do you know what that person is going through? It might not be physical or material thing, but psychologically or
Struggle
emotionally,
too.
there's a struggle. You have no idea. Some children will look at them and say, oh, this person was born with a silver spoon or with a golden spoon and all of that. Even admits that they lack nothing. You don't know what they are struggling with emotionally or psychologically. There's a child that said he was going to go back and confront his father because he went to higher institution, and when his classmates were relating and talking about childhood, how interesting it was, he had nothing to say because he was picked from the home, dropped in school, the driver will pick him from school, bring him. He doesn't have that relationship, those play times and all of that. Everything he wanted was just available. He had no story to tell. And then he was so angry. He was like, you people had all of that life. How? Where? and then he had their story and he narrated his own. He was in tears and not happy how he grew up. But those children were looking at him that this one is a jebo, born with a silver spoon. We had to struggle our way. We trek from here to there to go to school, trek back. Like this is the story of other people. And then when they are giving this story, this person is like, it's strange because he doesn't know what it means to walk everywhere. You're being carried in the car and all of that. So our struggles might not be the same, but everybody has his own kind of struggle. So, but don't let that struggle break you. Like that is my message to people out there. Don't let that struggle break you, but find strength. Just find strength within. Hold on to God. Like, it's more important. You find strength by like relating. How do you relate with God? Prayers, reading the scripture. Like, you cannot find strength from anywhere. Motivational speakers are all over. They tell you things that they cannot even endure. Do you understand? But that strength that imagine somebody that is advising you about marriage and the person is divorced. He couldn't stand the challenge or the struggle, and that is why he's divorced. So where would you want to rather get advice? So you study the scripture, pray, and just ask God to strengthen you, that as you go through these struggles, that you will not get consumed, that you will not be broken, that these things will not end your life, but that God will uphold your hand and see you through it. And at the end of the day, you come out victorious. Like I said, there's no glory without story. So for you to get to the finish line, you have to pass through the process. So just hold on to God, and then, of course, He will help you.
And I just this is just a reminder, so that we never forget it. All the glam you're seeing, all the beauty that you're seeing, does not mean that this person or that person is devoid of struggles. This person has his own share, same as you. You have your own share. We're not disputing that fact, but this person also has his own share of struggles. That this woman has a beautiful home, her house is beautiful, her husband seemingly takes care of her, her children are glowing and growing and beautiful, does not mean that she does not have her own struggles too. The same thing as the man who has every car, all these things, everything is just rosy, they're going for this vacation and that every other day. It does not mean that this man does not have his own struggles. So you can't go about living your life thinking that you alone are suffering and thereby throwing in the towel. No. Resistance is only gotten from empowerment. You need to empower yourself mentally, and that is only majorly from the source, and that source is Jesus Christ. You need to for you to be able to pass through some of these struggles, you cannot do them on your own. You need that backbone, and He is our backbone. At any point in time, you call on Him. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't seem like the answer we're looking for is what He's telling us, but then again, He's our best solution.
He knows the end from the beginning.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. He knows the end from the beginning. Joyce, thank you so much for doing this with me today. And then Prudence.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. You know, the best that you can do is to lean on Christ, who is the solid rock. And you know, He said we should cast our burden upon Him and He will give us rest. So He is the ultimate. He is the source. So Jesus is the only one that can help you in your struggle. He will only give you peace and He will show you the way out. So thank you so much for doing this with us today. Hoping that we'll still do this together tomorrow. Same time, same station. Remain blessed and hold on to Christ. Bye-bye.